Suzuki, windows tinted, rims are spinning with the Hello Kitty sticky. If you see me, I'm assuming that it's only in my rearview. You can call me, but I promise that there's no way I'ma hear you. You gon' need to speed up the pace. Black VVA strutting down the staircase. Splits all the way, bringing these to your face. Splits all the way, bringing these to your face. You gon' need to speed up the pace. Black lemonade strutting down the staircase. It ain't never safe when the peas on the taste. So you know it's gonna be when it's me in the race.
I wonder if you know, so that it be Tokyo.
That's that. Drip, drip, come catch this. Drip, drip, drip. Wonder if you know, I ain't been to Tokyo, but when I touch down, they hit the ground. If I say drop it low, that's that. Drip, drip, come catch this. Drip, drip, drip.
All pink like Suki in my brand new Suzuki. Windows tinted, rims are spinning with the Hello Kitty sticky. If you see me, I'm assuming that it's only in my rearview. You can call me, but I promise that there's no way I'ma hear you. Pink like Suki in my brand new Suzuki. Windows tinted, rims are spinning with the Hello Kitty sticky. If you see me, I'm assuming that it's only in my rearview. You can call me, but I promise that there's no way I'ma hear you.
You gon' need to speed up the pace. Black VVA strutting down the staircase. Splits all the way, bringing these to your face. Splits all the way, bringing these to your face. You gon' need to give the bar race. If you want an R race, you can follow our pace. These beats without me is a pre with no face. Push pink P's and T's on both of our plates. That's that. Drip, drip, come catch this. Drip, drip, drip. Wonder if you know, I ain't been to Tokyo, but when I touch down, they hit the ground. If I say drop it low, that's that. Drip, drip, come catch this. Drip, drip, drip.
All pink,
Rose lit night,
like Suzuki.
come in alright.
Hello Kitty, if you pink,
My beams so high,
Suzuki.
you're in my sight.
Hello Kitty, pink, pink, like Suzuki. Hello Kitty, if you pink, pink, like Suzuki. Pink, pink, like Suki.
My little girl, drive anywhere, do what you want. I don't care. Tonight, I'm in the hands of fate. I hand myself over on a plate now. Oh, little girl, there are times when I feel I'd rather not be the one behind the wheel.
All right. Okay, we're here. I don't know if at some point you're going to hear the game chat, because the way Xbox parties work, if you're on PlayStation in particular, is if you're in an Xbox party on your own for too long, it will kick you out of the Xbox party because it's deemed inactive if there's only one player inside of it. So if you start to hear people grunting and talking in game chat, then we've fallen into game chat. I got no Sergio with me tonight. He's taking the night off, which is a shame because, as always, we miss his excellence, his brilliance with the analysis always. But we'll do our best. It will be a lot more basic, I believe. Hopefully, maybe some of you guys like Andrew tonight can guide me through the trials and tribulations of Mexico. But Season 5, Race Week 5, we continue to kind of grind through the season, the death and the despair of Baku last week in the rear view. Tonight, Mexico in the front view. I think it's a track, definitely. I say this about so many tracks. I never really hear, it's like Silverstone, I never hear people in the league complain when they get told, yeah, we're at Mexico this week. So yeah, 2 races in a row I'm in. Andrew, we're loving that. Have they fixed the wet weather issue? Because it's looking a little bit overcast for Mexico. I don't know if you lot agree or not. That looks that looks threatening in terms of the weather, in terms of the rain, eh? But who knows? Maybe we'll have some rain today on Mexico as well. But yeah, I don't know too much. I can't give you like the ins and out. What's a good time? You know, the sectors to look out for, the danger zones like Sergio could. It's going to be a lot more basic today. I can only apologize. I know some of you love what Sergio does, and I love what Sergio does. But yeah, who knows? If you've got any other spare commentator around that's got good knowledge of F1 that wants to come in tonight, then shout. If not, then like I said, I'll ride it solo. I said I'm never going to skip the stream because Sergio isn't here. I love watching you guys race, absolutely. But it's just having that kind of extra kind of insight about the race, which I always love. We're going to, of course, look through the Team Constructors, the Drivers' Championship, everything during this quali. But 17-minute qualifying has begun. Lobby year 20 tonight. I don't know if there's people playing FIFA or not, especially with that friendly issue on FIFA. If they are playing FIFA tonight, maybe they won't be here. Maybe they'll be very late to the party. But still, 20 fighter lobby. I mean, listen, with how the F1's going, everyone kind of, you know, vying for position. Maybe it is going to be a little bit of a fight tonight. But a 20 racer grid tonight. And you've got a whole mix of quality again. You've got the kind of minnows that maybe will be fighting to get into the points tonight. The likes of Lucky and Bailey and maybe even Cons 10. Although Cons had a very good race last week. Don't sleep on Cons. But then you've got the who's who. You've got the Chizzies. You've got the VRL Kierans. Do we have Dom Parry with us tonight? I'm looking. I'm scanning. Do we have a Dom Parry? No Dom Parry. So, okay, opens up a door for a potential new podium, but BobbyLyons is in there as well. There's a lot of decent drivers here tonight. Attila as well, back to again a good performance last week from him. I think he got podium, didn't he? Of course, we'll look into that. But yeah, a decent grid today in Mexico, where as you can see, racing round, looking up at those grey skies there, maybe we're going to be seeing a little bit of rain here at some point. Again, I know there was an issue with weather before, and Michael had the weather off for so long, but maybe that's been patched. I know he said there was some sort of 6 gig update the other day, right? So maybe that's handled that. Who knows? Who knows? But yes, should be interesting, should be fun. Well, just in as well, I've been pinged in the F1 Discord. Again, I don't know if it'd be possible for people to add me if we're already in lobby, in case anyone lags out tonight. I know Sergio's usually the invite guy, but yeah, hopefully we don't get any lag outs. I think the big one, of course, was the guys on PC a couple of weeks ago kind of had the constant disconnect from the game, but then last week it was absolutely fine as well. But yeah, so interesting as well tonight for VRL Kieran. He's gonna have to kind of find a way to fight back and try to gain some, I don't know, I wouldn't say some momentum. I feel like maybe it's a controversial thing to say about Kieran, but I feel like this championship's already gone. Reigning defending champion, race 5 tonight, didn't show up for the first 2 races, I think 3, didn't finish last week, still with a big fat donut on the board. 0 points for VRL Kieran on the board as things stand. So maybe this season has turned from, you know, defending the title, bringing it back home, going 2 in a row, to now just maybe about, you know, what can I do to save some face here and not have a disaster? Because imagine Kieran is very much, let me just polish my glasses here, don't mind me, I'm still leaning forward talking into the microphone. Kieran is someone with great race IQ. We've seen how he always performs so well in qualifying, yes, but again, those old habits from Kieran in the first couple of races back this season, season 5, are very much there. They're very much alive, aren't they? In the sense that, well, you know, he does have that streak still in him to have a bad turn, have a bad corner, and then retire from the race. He does have that that rashness still to kind of maybe battle when he shouldn't be battling, and, you know, shoot when he shouldn't shoot, in terms of maybe kind of go for an overtake. So, you know, I think that aggression definitely comes with a winning mentality. It does, but it also puts Kieran in a position where, you know, he does have situations and races more than others. I mean, you look at maybe someone like a Cons or even a Surtee. No offense to Surtee or Cons, they're not trying to dig them out, but I think we see Cons and Surtee have less incidents on the track, less incidents on the grid than Kieran does when he's in one of those modes. So I don't know. I don't know what the aim is for Kieran this season anymore. Will he be looking at it and saying, well, if I'm not first, there's no point? Will he be looking at it and saying, I want to still finish in the top 3, going to counter myself? Is he looking towards season 6? Is he not? There's there's so many questions there. And again, top of the grids, so many questions there as well. If Dom Parry isn't here today, then again, Chissy, BobbyLyons. I mean, those are the two that you would be expecting to be competing for first place. You know, I'm no offense to the rest of them. Again, you have to put Kieran up there if he has a good start, if he has a good race. But then the door's open for third place. Henry looked pretty decent last time out. Tiller as well looked pretty decent. Could maybe someone like Ethan Lesito's come in as a reserve driver, pull off a madness. We've seen crazy things happen. CB46 has been so good for the last season and a half. Michael has been in the form of his life in the McLaren for the first kind of 4 weeks so far. There are so many possibilities as to who gets third place. So you sound a bit muffled. Nothing I can really do to help you with that, boss. It's yeah, firm it. Maybe it's because I'm holding the microphone in midair, but again, it's not on a desk, so if it's going to move like this and I'm going to talk, then it's going to sound a little bit different. I'm not in the office. I'm in my room where my box is, so yeah, it's not going to sound all nice and stationary like it usually does for my UFC streams. You have to firm it and cope. When I have to plug my shit into the Xbox, I've got to be in this room. And I hate it because there's actually no room. I got my fucking like wardrobe there. I got my desk literally with my TV on it, my 60-inch TV here. I got my bed here. I feel like I'm cramped in here, mate. So yeah, one of them. I do love I need to get like a monitor and like a box in that room. It would make my life so much easier. It certainly would. But yeah, there you go. For the time being, I've just missed the timer. I think it's set before about 10 minutes left, 11 minutes and 12 seconds left. So you know what? While those guys are setting their time, so far Kieran, the king of qualifying, 1:15.595 on the board so far. Let's go and give you what the league looks like as of now. Again, a big thank you to Sean Tiller for these wonderful graphics we're about to put up on screen. The Drivers' Championship and the Team Constructors. You can take a look and see who's doing well so far as we head into race week 5 tonight. Reverse happening, man. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. There we go. Look at that. Boom. Instantly. Okay. So, we'll zoom in because even I can't read this. There you go. So, Chissy still at the very summit of the table. 86-65. A 21-point lead over his nearest rival, BobbyLyons. It looks like that championship is heading back to the Red Bull. Chissy, was it 3-time champion already? Or would this be the 3rd time he's won the league? Only he knows, but yeah, it's so good. BobbyLyons, of course, is still always dangerous. Dom Parry in 3rd place, not here tonight, so he's going to lose some grounds. And then you've got CB46, you've got Jamsey, you've got Dylan Evans, you've got Henry. They're all kind of there, kind of vying for that 3rd position. So it's not all too bad in that regard. You've got Michael and Shadow's gone a little bit down lower than Dirty Hippo, the McLaren partner, in 10th as well. People that are still fighting to get their first point on the board. Man's got Tism, Kieran 19, Blazer Guns reverse, and Jacob. Could that first point come tonight? You have to wonder. Bailey as well, finally getting that point back that he said was brutally robbed off of him last week. Well, there you go. Now you're in the points, Bailey. Congratulations. But yeah, a little bit more tricky to kind of see a way back into this one for someone like CB, who, again, 56 points off. He's going to need to hope that he wins this race today and Chissy crashes into a fiery pit of doom. If CB is dreaming of the championship, it does feel like a 2-horse race, especially with the fact that Dom Parry is not here tonight. BobbyLyons has got to win this race. He has to kind of find a way to make life difficult for Chissy tonight in Mexico, because if not, and it's again a pretty much standard Chissy 1st place, BobbyLyons 2nd place, that gap continues to grow, and BobbyLyons will have to become more and more content with 2nd place this season. So yeah, one of them. Of course, going over to the team championship, a bit more closer, you could maybe argue. Red Bull 114, Audi again 85 points, but I say once more, you know, no Dom Parry is a massive miss. Dylan Evans tonight is very much going to have to sit there and, you know, bear the brunt of it. There's a big gap as well, again, you could say from 2nd to 3rd. It's very much kind of spaced out now, isn't it, with McLaren with 54 points, Michael and Dirty Hippo Marcel, everyone's favourite German, continuing their fine start to the season. If McLaren could finish 3rd in this Team Constructors, I mean, wow. I mean, one of the teams of the season, and that sounds weird considering they're nowhere near 1st, but they have done so well. Oh, excuse me. Jesus. But yeah, I guess, you know, I'm still always rooting for the little guy. I'm hoping that Alpine today maybe get a point. maybe even Leicester is the special sauce that gets Haas their first point tonight as well. That would be awesome to see. But yeah, it's very much kind of spaced out at the top. Can anyone stop this Red Bull team? That is the $1 million question. All right, back over to the qualifying, though. And you can see we've also gained Surty, who's in a different car today. He's been carjacked. Someone's stolen his original car out of the garage. But no change there at the top of the tower. Kieran with a 115.4. Chissy with a 115.532. Henry just a slight fraction behind a 115.545. Michael there in fourth as well with a 115.7. So great commissioner overlord got a lisp. But Michael is still very much doing bits here tonight. 7 minutes left to qualifying. Of course, if anyone's just listening along to this and still is playing their FIFA and needs to get in, you've still got time, but time is starting to run out. That's all I'll tell you for now. Check my DMs, make sure there's no issues here. Even note, we've got pings in FIFA and the NBA Discord, but that can wait for a different time, can't it? That can wait for a different time. All right. Well, like I said, for the time being, we're kind of sat here staring at the garage for Michael, but we'll go out and have a look at CB46, see how he's handling the grid here tonight so far, and make sure as well that he's looking good. So far as well, you can see Surty, the absolute lovable rogue, out on his intermediates as per usual. So, yeah, I'm not really too surprised if it isn't intermediates. I mean, it's not Surty behind the wheel. You know, that guy loves it. Give me a minute as well. Just got to forward this over to this and this. Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, cool. We're all set. Sorry, just had to read that. Make sure that was all good as well. Okay, well, for now, 5 minutes to go. And as of now, realistically, no real surprises in the qualifying time. Maybe you can say Kieran 19, but I always feel a bit weird almost saying that. Like, Kieran 19 is not this decent driver. I just think Kieran tonight is going to be one of those dark horses. I think Stu with pollen breath, as you know him as well, could be having a good one. He was so close to getting points last time out, but it was a kind of final 5 laps, I think, for him that really caught him off guard. And that's the thing. Said it so many times, man. You know, a 45-minute race, because that's realistically how long the race from start to finish is. You know, you talk about 40, 45 minutes. It requires so much focus, so much concentration. And if you don't have that, or if you do have it for 75% of the race and you have one bad lap, it will feel like you want to put your head through the wall when the race kind of departs and escapes you. I don't think or recall Mexico has been safety car heavy for us. I don't ever remember Mexico being one of those kind of Azerbaijan, Baku tracks where we're thinking and saying like, whoa, how many are going to die today? But I do think there's penalty concerns. I do remember. I think there's some sector or one bend. Looking at the map, I think you can see there in bottom right of your screen where the map is sector 2, where it starts to get very, very loopy and bendy. I do think you see people getting aggressive there, and people can exceed the track limits and take penalties. But again, I mean, maybe you can see that in sector 3 as well, because you've got a very big hairpin, it looks like, there as well. So yeah, I think sector 2, sector 3. I mean, half the track, half the race tonight is a straight line. Look at that incredible straight line from the start line all the way into sector 1, and then as soon as you get out of sector 1, you go into that first kind of double turn. You've then got another big straight line to go. So it does feel like half the race today is straight line racing, but it's about how you navigate those tricky turns as well. So yeah. Uh-uh. 2 seconds again. Type in one hand like an old man. There we go. Fantastic. All right. So for now, everything's good there. Everything's good here. Oh, okay. So now we need 2 hands for this.
It's time!
Fantastic. All right, cool. 2 minutes and 25 to go. Sorry again, like I said, usually this is where I bounce off Sergio because I do get so many messages, man, over the course of it. Oh, you can't read. Alright, never mind then. Okay. Jesus, dude, people just can't read in both games, eh? Unbelievable. Alright. Okay. Alright, sorry. Again, so much stuff. Thank you as well, man. I was back for the Prime as well. Appreciate it, man. Hopefully you got some insight for me for Texas, for Mexico tonight. Like I said, we've got no Sergio, so as we're doing qualifying, we went over the team constructors, the drivers' championship. Said it looks like, I don't know. I don't know if maybe Surty, I know he usually talks to us while he's doing quali and racing. Surty, have you heard anything about wet weather conditions tonight or not then? Because like I said, this looks pretty dark, man. It does. I think we've had Mexico raining once, and it was like back towards the winter. I just can't remember if it like changed too much or not. It still feels like it's a pretty easy track to navigate because of those majority straight lines, but don't have to wait too long to find out, boys. 45 seconds left of quali. As always, please remember that you do not ready up. I repeat, do not ready up until that time hits that Michael sets. That'll give you time to do your setups and so forth. So please do not ready up. If you ready up before the time Michael says, you will incur a penalty, a time penalty. So, yeah, just make sure you're not doing anything too stupid there. Okay? Fantastic. For the time being, though, we are set to get comfortable and ready for race day number 5 in Mexico. And Kieran, surprise, we say it, man. If qualifying was the main important, facet of a race, he would never ever be beaten. He is so fast on quali. And he's going to go into the race today with a 1:14.9, just about pipping BobbyLyons on a 1:15.03. So, I mean, that is tighter than tight, isn't it? Of course, Bobby could still maybe potentially break into the 1:14s, but with everyone starting to finish up here, maybe time is starting to maybe run out for him as well. Henry as well. Fair play to Henry at the Ferrari. A 1:15.076. That's impressive. And look at that, Bobby. He does exceed his previous time, but can't break into the 1:14s. A 1:15.016. That is excellent. That is excellent. Absolutely. All right. Well, again, remember, please and thank you, do not ready up until Michael's time. Thank you very much indeed. 21 drivers tonight as well. Decent turnout, so appreciate everyone coming in as well. Fantastic. All right. There we go then. Qualifying done. As we get ready to see. Alright. Make sure I do. Oh, Jesus, that's a big paragraph. Okay, I talked about Mexico, the manner. Extremely low chance of rain, just cloudy, some moderate temps. Tires won't disintegrate quite as much as fast. I don't think of Mexico and think overcast weather, but fair enough. Generally low safety car chances. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't remember ever seeing a Mexico in VFL where there's been high safety cars. Due to the extended runoffs and a lack of gravel. Only if someone gets a bit too racy in the corner complex. I said that there's I think Sector 2 and Sector 3 have got like those kind of really twisty, bendy turns. They're not quite hairpins, but they're very, very difficult, especially when you're in that kind of, you know, final portion of the race when you need to gain time. People get a little bit reckless in there. So I've seen excessive track limits happen before. So that wouldn't be too surprising either. It wouldn't be too surprising either. Two seconds. All right. Where am I again? I fought for a minute there. We're in a bit of trouble. Again, fellas, please do not ready up until Michael's time. I'll verbalise that time for you as well. Michael's saying that the ready up time is going to be 10:08 p.m. So you've got about 3 minutes to get everything set and sorted. 3 minutes. So there you go. For the time being, sit back, relax, and enjoy getting your setups ready, boys. Absolutely. That's that there. Again, I don't know if people want to add. I don't know if people even can still add my EA ID because of disconnects or backouts. But yeah, I hope no one has any issues tonight. So it's usually the PC guys that have those kind of desync issues. But we were moderately good last week. There was no real major ones at all. So yeah. Okay. Do so many messages. Whenever people see me go live, they just feel like that's the time to go and send me everything. It's not even the Madden guys, it's the FIFA guys. Leave me alone, bro. It's a Monday. Unbelievable. Alright. Smashing. Okay. How was the quality? It was good, Dom. It's good. We're going to miss you today, man. Like I said, a big miss on the grids. Especially considering you're third place in the Drivers' Championship. But, I mean, what can you tell me about Mexico, Dom? I mean, it's not really a safety car track, is it? It's... I think, like I said, there's going to be some good battles here today. I do. Kieran got a 1:14.9 at qualifying as well, Dom. BobbyLyons, I think it was in second, or 1:15.014. So, Kieran, quick as ever. But like you know, like we know, man, that realistically means nothing. It all depends on whether or not Kieran can keep his head. So, yeah, BobbyLyons as well saying that's the first qualifying lap in Mexico I've done on 25. So, there you have it. Of course, this race will commence at 10:08 p.m. So you haven't got long to wait here before race week 5 begins. Mexico, braced for impact. I said it was looking like it was going to rain perhaps, but with Manor, or Weatherman Manor, we'll call him, tells us that. Don't worry about that. It's just expected to be a bit overcasty in Mexico. No rain perhaps expected. And then the drivers haven't said anything. Usually Certi will come in and alert me. Chances of wet weather and so forth. Nothing like that today. So it looks like it's going to stay dry. Well, not long now, boys. Not long now. Who is going to take Mexico tonight? You could say the pressure's on Bobby. Needs to pip Chissy to the race win tonight. If he does, maybe we've got a bit of a title race on our hands. Maybe so. Drivers there are all conversing as well, getting their sweepstakes in. All right, here we go. we're there and we're set as race week 5 is officially up and underway here tonight. Best of luck, everybody. Best of luck. All right. Let's see what this first turn looks like. You got one driver on hards, so 2 on hards, and Chissy, 3. Chissy, Tism, and Cons. Everyone doing quite nicely there. You're not really seeing anything too well. Someone's cutting the grass there in Bailey. So Bailey's decided to become a lawnmower here this evening. Ultimately, though, not really much to see in terms of drama. This is that first bend I talked about, coming into Sector 2 and then also Sector 3. But, yeah, like I said, you've got those big straight lines tonight. You're not going to see too many challenging turns here. 36 laps, though, so you've always got the possibility of drama, chaos, and death in those later stages. But Peggy, you are a betting man today. Over, under 2.5 safety cars. You'd probably take the under, but over, under, multiple warnings, exceeding track limits. Probably over 12.5. You're going to see the majority of the grid walk away with something here tonight. So far, though, really nice, man. Not really any aggressive racing, I guess we'll call it so far. It's been very, very polite. Is that the correct word we can use here tonight? I don't know. Let's go into the first person view, though, and see what we've got up here. Vero, Kieran, and BobbyLyons very much competing up here as it stands. And with Kieran, you always know you're going to get fast, high octane racing. But sometimes that high octane racing can result in death and despair early into the race, of course. He has had issues last week. I think he only got through 6 laps of Azerbaijan last week, but maybe you can give him a pass on that and say, well, it's Baku, it's a difficult track, it's the one that usually catches out a lot of people in VFL. It's not the most simplistic of tracks, unlike this one. But this track is complicated tonight by the brilliance of BobbyLyons. Once he has a lead, he is so difficult to bypass, to get beyond. Kieran right now, though, right on his tail. Little connection there, though, from Kieran. Needs to be careful. Doesn't want to lose any of his front wings here tonight. I think again last week at Baku, it was the front left portion of his car that effectively lost the winglets, and ultimately he couldn't keep the car grounded. Nearly actually flipped his car in mid-air last week, but he's overtaken Bobby here. And it looks like we've got championship form Kieran in the opening 3 laps here tonight. So that battle up there will continue, as BobbyLyons now is very much looking to take down Kieran from up above. Let's go through the grid here and see what else we've got. Bit of a train here, bit of a separation. But again, down the other side of the grid, the back end, look at this. We've got underdog Dylan Evans, Henry, Ethan Lessiter, and now even man's got Tism joining in. Oh, look, can he keep control? He just about does keep control, but yeah, this is where all the riffraff is at the back here so far. The aim is to get away from this portion of the grid as quickly as humanly possible. You are going to start to see that as well. Separation between maybe 12th and 11th, but then a large train between 12th and 16th. Man's got Tism deciding tonight who needs to follow the track, not me. Extra bonus points for smashing the boards up, but we keep going up the grid again. Lovely turn here by the majority of drivers, as Henry in 13th so far, as well as Chissy in 12th. Going to be doing a little bit better here. Only 4 laps in out of 36, but difficult to break into that, especially when you look at this gap here. Look at that, from 9th to 10th is fine, but then look at the gap from 9th to 8th. Said, for Dirty Hippo, such a nice bit of space behind them. Tiller and Hippo, though, very much engrossed in a battle for 7th. Michael, Kieran, another little bit of a gap. Jamsey trying to close down on the front 3, which has gotten very, very tight. CB46 has entered the fray. So for now, a 3-man race at the top. Get a reminder, a quick lap in qualifying earlier on was around about a 1:15, so 36 laps today. You know, you are talking around about 36 to 45 minutes, barring any craziness. And so far, I think you start to maybe feel that endurance and that durability and that focus and concentration wavering. How about lap 16, lap 17 as we approach the halfway point? But like Manor said, and I think like a lot of guys know, not going to be a race tonight where you can rely on safety cars. Not going to be a race tonight where you can sit here and be, you know, confident that if you're at the back of the grid, you're going to be assisted by a safety car. But it is going to be about what can these Williams do. And the important thing is that, don't forget, you know, Kieran and CB, both in the Williams. Is it going to maybe be for Kieran tonight to say to his teammate CB46, listen, I'll get ahead of Bobby. I'll hold him up. I'll kind of slow him down. You just get as far ahead as possible and try and bring the victory back to the Williams. I think Kieran's a little bit too competitive for that, but we have seen some excellent team racing before, haven't we? Kieran there was losing a little bit of control. Managed to correct the steering there. Oh, and there's Kieran. I said he was losing control. What's happened with his car? Is it the winglets again? And out of kind of nowhere. I don't know if anyone caught what happened there, but see if we can get a front view of it at any point here. But yeah, no idea what happened to Kieran. Yeah, he is, dude. Something, it's got to be that front. Can you see it from here? I don't know. I can't. It said Sergio's eye for detail is so much better, but clearly Kieran has got to get into the pits here and get this corrected. It was around lap 5 or lap 6 last time out, and he's staying out there. He's crazy. He's not going to be able to keep this car going at this rate. Kieran at this minute in time, 18th position. A nightmare for VRL Kieran. Some would say not a nightmare. It's just a typical VRL Kieran race day. Going back up the grid, of course, he's now very much got some making up to do, but it does open up first place a bit more. CB46 trying to chase down BobbyLyons. You can see there from CB's angle, though, BobbyLyons is starting to get further and further and further away. Once he has got this kind of gap, he is impossible to close down, especially as well when usually it's Chissy competing against him. He's really down there, sandwiched between two Ferraris in 8th position. Of course, did talk about that third place, that podium position earlier on today. Michael so far a little bit far or further back behind Jamsey. Cons as well, they're taking a 3-second penalty. Also, Kieran just behind Michael. Ferrari's here as well in 7th and 9th with the main man, Chissy, in 8th position. 7 laps down. 29 still to go. Corey, good evening to you as well. Track limit penalty in 1 lap. That's some impressive shit. That's Mexico. Fun fact, starting in the 1960s, there's never been a wet Mexico race. It's the only long-running race on the calendar to have never had rain. Hey, imagine getting 60 plus years of good luck with the weather conditions, eh? That's some special juju right there, that is. But, yeah, man, like I said, you've seen a little bit of everything. You see some track limits already. You've seen Kieran have that kind of typical Kieran disaster where he spins off into oblivion. It's so strange because, I don't know, we were on Kieran for a little while, or watched Kieran race for a little while. It just didn't seem like he'd hit anything or bumped anything or done anything to kind of harm his wheels, but maybe he clipped his car on the boards or something. We have seen Kieran before in previous races brake a little bit too late and then slightly clip the boards, but would that be enough to kind of do what it's done to his wing? I don't know. Bizarre. Of course, going back up the grid once again, you are seeing that degree of separation begin to happen now. You see nothing but clean air behind him. BobbyLyons there far and above the rest. Jamsey and CB46 though are engrossed in a battle for second, so maybe tonight second is the new first. Maybe that's the way these two will be looking at it. Lucky 13 with another 3-second time penalty. You get penalty update I think every 10 laps. I mean, that'd be good to do. Lap 10, lap 20 and so forth. course, those mediums as well. At what point, if you are on the mediums tonight, do you start to look at it and say, okay, maybe need to go in there? I think maybe 12 laps if you're very, very confident. Wouldn't surprise me if maybe 10 laps was the magic number. I think if you're in hard territory, dry conditions, maybe get away with 15, 16 laps. So maybe the aim would be medium for 10, hard for 16, medium for 10. Would be a shout. Viral Kieran adds to the DNF tally. Our Season 4 champion saying tonight that spin out again, lap 6. That's it for me. And the tyres in the pits, and it is another race. This could be a season, the first ever season in VFL history, yeah, where the champion does not finish a race. So far, heading into next week, race week 6, Kieran still has not finished a race. He's either missed them or he's DNF'd them. This could be the worst title defense of all time if it keeps going like this for Kieran. Not a single point collected from finishing races yet. Crazy when you say it that way, isn't it? But there you go. Hey, talking of crazy, by the way, in a good way. Chissy all the way from 8th position up now into 3rd. The Ferraris as well. This is what we remember the Ferraris from a couple of seasons ago when they won that team championship back in 4th and 5th respectively. Cons 10. Could not sing high praises enough of this kid last week, man. Looks so good. Of course, it all went to pot in the final couple of laps. I think in the final 10 laps, he started to drift more and more down the standings, down the tower. But again, how good is he? Currently in 6th place this evening. He's also got a penalty. So does Surtees. Lucky 13 as well tonight, saying that's enough for me. As I think the track penalties, the exceeding of the track limits, killed Lucky there. I feel like he racked up maybe about 3 or 4 of them. Maybe that was enough for him to say that's it. Surtees in the wars there is Tism and Pollen Breath now. Very much going for some tight overtakes. Nearly lost control of the car there as well, did Surtees. He does not want to have the same fate as Viral Kieran. Talking to Kieran, the other Kieran 19. 3-second penalty there. We're at lap 10, so it's going to be that update on the penalties so far then. Cons with 3. Tism with 3. Surtees with 3. Bailey with 6. Kieran 19 with 3. And Reverse 19 with 3 as well. So as of now, that's what it looks like. We'll sit with Ethan Lessiter as well, who's looking to try and overtake Surtees, despite Surtees having that penalty. And for Ethan Lessiter, more of a bicyclist. Usually see this guy playing pro cycling manager, riding around the Tour de France, but tonight he rides around Mexico in a big hunk of metal instead. And again, look, he's got some battles here up ahead of him. 4 cars in the train. So he would love to kind of maybe stake his claim tonight, go and get the first point for the Haas, but again, a little bit more trickier doing it than imagining it. Just overtaken there by Michael as well, who's on those pretty fresh hards. BobbyLyons also heading on 2 hard tires. We'll stay in this kind of war here at this minute in time, because they were going 3 wide at one point. Shadow's Gunner, though, departing and heading into the pits, saying, I need to change my compound sooner rather than later. And like I said, that's the magic number. 10 lap old mediums. It seems a lot more people. Pollen Breath as well has just gone in with 10 lap old mediums. Ethan as well. Shadows as well. So going on to those fresh hards now, as we get a little more spacing on the grid. As we go back up here, though, Cons 10. We're going to chase down Tiller. You would be thinking on the next completion we'll probably opt to pit as well. 10 lap on mediums for him. Henry CB46 could be the end point, and then that would allow CB46 to surrender the lead to Chissy. Oh, a little bit of a... So I tell you what, it's Cons 10 drinking behind the wheel. This guy is swerving left and right, isn't he? Have to be very, very careful there. Tiller was looking for that overtake and does effectively find himself overtaking him into 5th position. Now we're going to see who pits here. You would think surely Tiller's going to go in. Tiller does not go in. That's surprising. 11 lap on mediums now for him. for Henry and for CB46. Surtees as well, looking like he's going to stay out there. Also, we'll sit with Cons for now. So like I said, he's not letting Tiller off that. But look at this up here as well. Real battle between BobbyLyons and Henry. So both Ferraris are involved. A bit of a scrap. BobbyLyons there overtaking. And Tiller almost pulling away ever so slightly as well from Cons. A lot of overtakes here happening over down the grid, but not because of anything too conspicuous. It's all because of the pitting that's going on. Pollen Breath here just about to be overtaken. Doing the overtaking, should I say, on Dylan Evans, and he does get that there. Dylan Evans tonight let down. No Dom Parry, who's been such a massive staple in that Audi team. I wonder what he makes of Mexico so far tonight. Give us your thoughts. He's still lurking out there, Dom. 12 laps in, a third of the race down. What are you like? What are you even impressed by? Even less as the shadow's going to Bailey here as well, all down here. As we sit on our Middle Eastern Prince here in reverse 19. Continues to look for a way to just force his nose back into this one. BobbyLyons are setting a 1:17.6 as the fastest lap time as well so far. Just joined us, Kieran is in VRL. Kieran, last season's champion, and Lucky 13, both retiring in the pits here tonight. Kieran had something happen to his car. We had a front row seat for it back in lap 5, lap 6. We just couldn't control the car. And then he spun out, did a 180 spin once, did it twice, but that was enough for him. Now you've got Henry as well in the Ferrari, going off those expended mediums and onto hards. For what you would imagine is going to be around about the next 16 laps. Maybe we see some soft action here tonight as well. Thank you, Doidies. Appreciate you, man, so much for the resub of Prime. Hopefully get you on a UFC card soon. I'd love to see you fight live, but I understand that you're busy with the kids and stuff, so hey, we take what we can get. You absolute beautiful man. For now, though, lap 13 of 36. I'm still kind of perplexed, man, when we're going to see CB46 in Tiller Pit. As we said before, there's going to be trains all over the grid tonight. There's Michael here, once again battling to kind of keep pace with Cons, Jamsey and Tiller. And one of them does decide that's the pits for me. Tiller, 12 lap old mediums, going on to 13, has said it's time to bring out the hards on this one. CB46 still staying out there. That is a little bit... it makes you wonder with these top drivers like CB, how many laps can you actually get away with? Because for me, I'm very conservative in the sense that I said, I verbalized, didn't I, to you guys? I said for me, 10 laps on the mediums I'd go in, 10, 16, 10, do a double stop. But maybe one of these guys tonight can feel like they're going to get a one stop. I don't know. For now, Michael keeping pace with the great R. Jamsey, who he himself will be saying tonight that a podium is absolutely achievable. And with more than half the race left still, I like his odds. I do. I should have got more water. I'm getting parched. I've got a slight little bit left. Unbelievable. Michael there just skirting around the outside here. As Jamsey now up to third after CB46 says 14 lap old mediums. Yeah, we don't want to chance fate too much. Now the main concern comes over to Chissy. Of course, Chissy and Manscottism started on these hards. How many laps can Chissy get out from underneath him? I said before I was thinking around 16 to 18. Then that's when Chissy can kind of go onto the mediums and really take advantage of people on those, I wouldn't say worn, but kind of half battered down hards. Cons as well has gone into fresh hards, no laps. As Chissy, wow, you don't see that often. You don't see that often. Championship favourite, the man that's won titles and Team Constructors galore with a 3-second time penalty. If Chissy can get a 3-second penalty in Mexico, I mean, anyone can. There's a reminder again for you on the penalty list. 3-6-3-3. 3-3-3. 9 seconds for Bailey. He struggled tonight, and reverse 19 with 6 as well. BobbyLyons, though, 6 lap old hards, and he's just almost kind of patted Chissy on the head, hasn't he? And said, good boy, I'll take over from it. He knows that Chissy's going to have to pit at some point as well. Get off those extremely dusted hards. I'm saying extremely dusted, like if he doesn't go in soon, they're going to explode. Certainly not. But 15 laps to 6. Only one of those two are going to stay out there, and it's not going to be the Red Bull. You can already see he's starting to lose a little bit of traction with the car there as well. But yeah, BobbyLyons peeling away. Let's go on further down the grid once again. You've got Michael and Jamsey here, even closer now. Michael has closed the gap sensationally well. It's the McLaren battling to try and interrupt this Red Bull second and third place show off. Jamsey there, though, starting to pull away once more. This is the thing as well. You don't see too much drivers that don't get overtaken often. Jamsey, when he kind of has that kind of spacing, he doesn't need lots of spacing. Give him a 1 second kind of nose peel, and he's difficult to overtake, man. Especially in such a track like Mexico, which is a clean track. It is a friendly, I would say driver-friendly track, where you're not going to see too much argy-bargy. And I think that definitely suits him, despite the reputation he had once upon a time of being a bit argy-bargy. But there you go. Kieran, down there in 5th position, 8 lap old hards. A little bit of separation here. CB46, though, closing on down on Dirty Hippo, so we'll stick with him as he's trying to overtake the informed team. That is the McLaren. Cons there as well, just eating a 3-second time penalty also. 17 laps down, 19 laps to go. And this is where I said before, when I'm at that halfway point, just before the halfway point, that's when focus starts to drift. That's when, well, you've had a long day, you've been up early. Maybe you start to get a little bit droopy-eyed and you start to make those mistakes. No safety cars yet, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Add in Lucky as well. We had 10. I said over 12.5 drivers tonight to get a penalty for something. And so far, if you're including Lucky, 10 at the halfway point. Surtees there, adding his name to the list as well. Another 3 seconds for him. Takes him up to a 6-second penalty there so far. CB46, though, continuing. So just try and poke ahead of Dirty Hippo. Whereas Kieran has got a bit of a gap on him there. So I said this before, man. Kieran 19. It felt disrespectful the way that I was kind of referring to Kieran at points. Such a good driver on his day. And if you're keeping Marcel and the McLaren modest, then it says everything. But look at this. CB46 just trying his best to get through. And ahead of Hippo, not going to happen. Surtees as well joins the pile of drivers that retire in the pits tonight. Another race, no success for everyone's favourite intermediate user in H12 Surtees. So, with that being said, 18 laps down, 18 to go. We'll come back to this CB and Dirty Hippo battle. I don't think it's the last we're going to see of it. It's just been within each other constantly tonight. Hippo as well, just behind Kieran, who of course does have that 3-second time penalty. A bit more further down the grid, man, Scott Tism, they're just looking ahead of CB and Hippo, saying, hey lads, just wait for me, let me get involved. We down with the brakes, whereas Pollen Breath is now looking to try and disrupt the Ferrari, creep further into that top 10. I did say tonight Pollen Breath and Kieran could be 2 drivers to look out for, but very difficult to catch and inform Henry, let me tell you that much for free. Go on further on down here. And as we said before, a bit more space now between all of the cars this evening. This is when it starts to get maybe a little bit kind of, you know, mundane. Who's going to overtake who? Who's going to, you know, make the push? What is interesting, though, is that Henry now has just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. So, first one of his night. Besides that, will still gain a position due to Pollen Breath slipping behind him. So that Ferrari sandwich very much back CB46. This is the battle. They have been like this for at least the last 3 or 4 laps now. We've got a true battle on our hands between Dirty Hippo and CB. CB does just pip him that time. Certi, should have changed my batteries. It's the thing, battery management with this update, man. Very much the thing that Sergio's currently, constantly kind of harped on. Dirty Hippo now falling a little bit behind CB46. We can go back up now, though, because CB46, he's kind of displaced Dirty Hippo from the conversation and said, all right, in true Goldberg fashion, Kieran 19, you're next, buddy. I want 5th place. Keep it warm for me. Ethan Lasseter adding a 3-second penalty to him. 20 laps in now. We share the penalties again in full. Chissy with 3. Kieran with 6. Henry with 3. Tiller with 3. Cons with 6. Shadow 6. Tism 6. Bailey 9. Ethan 6. And Reverse 19 6 as well. So as of now, CB gets 5th. But is the gap between 4th and 5th just a little bit too much? Nothing in sight behind Michael. And it does feel that way, doesn't it? Trying to keep touching distance to Jamsey, though. How it would be so rewarding for Michael tonight if he picked up a podium finish yet again. He's already got 1 this season. Would love a 2nd, wouldn't he? Of course, though, a little bit more catch-up happening here. CB, Kieran and Hippo all within each other as the Ferrari there and the Chevrolet locked wheels for a brief minute. Tiller and Pollenbreath, the Scot and the Irishman, almost having to remind each other, you know, hey, listen, let's not do anything stupid here that jeopardizes our race. Still so many laps to go. Further on down the grid, Ethan Lasseter with eyesight there of Bailey and underdog. Bailey, for the first time in his evening, maybe looking for an overtake to get back into a stronger position to maybe chase down points. He's got 1 point this season, this Bailey. He would love more every point. Feels like a jackpot lottery win. Underdog 18, almost kind of veering away from him at great speed. Michael and Jamsey there still. That little train between Tiller, Pollenbreath and Cons also. We'll stick with Stu here for the time being, a great veteran. And he also doesn't have any penalties to his name yet. 20 lap old hards for Chissy. At what point does this lunatic go in? Because if we're saying that, you know, mediums at the beginning of this race lasted around 10 laps, 12 laps, is Chissy going to be able to drive and ride these hards out to where they're 22 or 23 lap old? Or do you start to risk a serious prospect of a puncture, of a race-defining incident? Who knows? 15 laps to go, less than half this race tonight left. As Mexico has brightened up, the overcast has disappeared, and the weather now very much shining down on our drivers tonight. 21 started, 17 remain. And some big, maybe you could say pieces of news so far with 21 laps in, you know. Dylan Evans, who's looked so good in the last couple of races, down in 14th, feeling the maybe the lack of Dom Parry here tonight to assist him, but also those 16 lap on hards won't help him. Jamsey as well has now just gone in to the pits, so he will finish the last 14 laps here. You would think with those hards, still Chissy, 21 lap hards remains out there, but he is 11 seconds behind Bobby. Is Chissy looking at this and almost banking on the fact that Bobby is going to have to pit? Can Bobby sit there 14 laps? It would need 26 lap old hards for Bobby to get over the line. I think 26 is too much. I think it'd be too much. Surely at some point he's going to have to pit. He's got a 12-second advantage over Chissy as well. Certi saying he's doing 1 stop, so any more from lap 23 he will pit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I think if we saw mediums last anywhere between 10 to 13 laps, I think this has got to be the last one for Chissy now, because he's playing with fire. When that goes to 23, 24, that's when you're really, really risking. It's when you're playing Russian roulette with the wheels and the punctures, aren't you? So, yeah, for Michael as well, he's just pitted, come out onto fresh hards, so that's going to be his ending point. As Kieran and Dirty Hippo also join him. Do these McLarens still believe that a podium finish is in their eyesight? As of now, it's Bobby, Chissy, and CB. Our Jamsey as well. He's just taken a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He kills tyres, so I think he will extend the hards as much as he can. I mean, there's extending the hards as much as you can, though, and then there's just being silly. I don't need to talk to you about being silly, sir, to Mr. Intermediate himself, but I will say, though, if there's ever a guy that you trust to be on 22 lap on hards, it would be a multi-time champion. It would be a guy that's won so many races in Chissy. But that 3-second penalty as well is not ideal. Maybe he's just racing for second tonight. Maybe he's just showboating a little bit with those hards. Because, yeah, he's 14 seconds behind Bobby at the free. 17 seconds behind Bobby is just too difficult. Too difficult. I punctured my mediums on lap 14, 15. I think Kieran had the same, mate. I don't know if you want to watch back the VOD. But Kieran had something. I'd not seen Kieran have, you know, anything that could be considered a crash or anything considered dangerous. And he just started to skid around the grid. I mean, in lap 5 or lap 6, he did a 180 almost on his car. And he just couldn't recover it from there. Ended up doing a textbook Kieran and retiring for the evening. Well, moment of truth here. Are we going to see Chissy go in here? We'll sit with him and have a look. Not too long to find out. Comes round the bend. Not once but twice. Handles it with such elegance, doesn't he? Like a gazelle is Chissy. CBA got 9 seconds of pens. It was boiling my room, not racing in 33 degrees. I'm sweating my bollocks off. No point. I was last 19 seconds behind. And yes, Kieran had a right rear puncture. There you go. Is that, I'm inserting and reversed it. Is that common in Mexico? Punctures? Maybe that's the new thing. Maybe it's not about time penalties and safety cars. Maybe it's about punctures, maybe. Who knows? But there you go. Chissy going in. BobbyLyons also has pitted at the same time. So therefore, mediums fresh against hards fresh. 11 laps to go. I was on 60% lap 6. That's crazy. On mediums, that is crazy. Trying to go for the 1-stop it is. The 2-stop, nah, fair enough. 3-second time penalty for corner cutting there for Underdog. As his race continues to look a little bit lost, you could say. Right up here then, BobbyLyons. CB46 Henry. I mean, CB46 can still take out Bobby, but I mean, realistically, listen, 10 lap on hards, I don't know, compared to fresh hards. Underdog there has had enough tonight. He joins the pile, joins reverse Surty, Lucky and Kieran in retiring in the pits as 21 becomes 16 here this evening. Shadows there with a 3-second time penalty as well. And there are many battles across the grid here. Bit of a split between Jamsey, Gottlisp and Tiller. They can all see each other, but they're not gaining on one another, are they, I would say. Further on down the grid here again, everyone can see each other, but no one will overtake. Shadow's going to looking to overtake Bailey. As he does, Bailey there conceding a position, drops back down into 15th. Bailey's going to be sat there saying, boys, couple more retirements, please. 5 more would be great. Put him in the points by default, wouldn't it? Jamsey there as well, setting a 1:17. That's the fastest lap time here tonight. So we'll stick with Michael, who continues his battle. He's had a battle with Jamsey. I shit you not, boys. He's been about this distance from Jamsey for what feels like the majority of the race tonight. If you are joining us as well just now, apologies, no Sergio tonight. He's taken the night off, so the analysis maybe hasn't been as expert as what you'd expect, but I've enjoyed it. It's been a good race. What I've learned about Mexico tonight now is that punctures are not a rarity. I think that's, if we've had 2 punctures, that's the most punctures we've seen in a race so far this season. Am I right? I think it's all one early run, but yeah. Oh, analysis forum tonight. Punctures galore. End of analysis. Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong. Look at BobbyLyons there. They were 116.5. He's damn good, isn't he? He's damn good, and it doesn't look like he's going to have the better of Chissy tonight. I mean, this is not a good position for Chissy to be in. I mean, listen, when you are 30, 40 points ahead, 50 points ahead, you can afford a slip. If Chissy, for some reason, finishes in 7th position tonight, he's going to shrug his shoulders. He's going to go, all right, bad night in the office. It's Mexico. Track limits, punctures, blah, 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 blah. We go back again next week. Where are we next week, actually? Let me have a look at this quickly, because that may have a large sway on things. Next week, in week 6, we're in Brazil. Now, Brazil's similar to Mexico in terms of, I feel like, the driver response. Not great, not terrible. Again, can't remember when we've ever had a lot of safety cars in Brazil. So, again, it may well be track limits. It goes Brazil, Abu Dhabi, Japan, Australia, and Texas. Texas to end is interesting. Texas to end is interesting. Because I think, if I remember correctly, I often get Texas and Vegas confused. But Texas is a very wide grid, isn't it? It's a very wide track. So, no way is Brazil next race. Yes, it is. Yep. That's my best track, says Reverse. Well, no pressure. You've said it now. You've said it now. No pressure. But maybe you've unlocked the door for yourself. Maybe. 28 laps down, 36 to go. Tism as well, joining the pile at the bottom. That retires in the pits tonight. 15 remain. So far, people in the points. Pollen Breath, Hippo, Kieran, Tiller, Chissy, Michael, Jamsey, Henry, CB, and BobbyLyons. BobbyLyons. Listen, you don't ever want to write someone like CB46 off who is just so good, but I don't think it's disrespectful. It would take a miracle. It would take BobbyLyons' car exploding randomly for this one tonight to change course. That's fine. I'll somehow still end up qualifying P17. Oh, dear. And Ethan Lessiter there has sped into the pits. And it does look like he will go on to softs here for the final 8 laps. So he's putting all of his chips in the basket of softs, and we'll hope that maybe with this update, with this new game, so to speak, you can get away with that tonight. Not often you see people cope well with softs. Maybe we see a difference here tonight. Well, gets into the top 10, especially with that time penalty that he's got as well. We'll be saying it's quite the achievement. Here we go, though. We've got a little bit of a battle here. Chissy, Michael, and Jamsey. And, I mean, you can never rule out Chissy. Fresh mediums as well, 3-lap-old mediums. You could maybe envisage that Chissy kind of steers towards the podium. I don't think he's going to get it, though. I think Henry is in a great position to take it here tonight. Jamsey may well have something else to say about that. But, I mean, right now, look at Henry. Nothing. He's avoiding all of the drama back here between Jamsey and Michael. There's now Chissy looking to try and overtake his teammate. Closing the door ever so slightly there, though, wasn't he, Jamsey? But it's all respectful. It's all good. Speaking of this, by the way, we beat New York Red Bulls on Friday. Bro, I'm just hoping that sooner rather than later we can just have the FIFA servers not being a hunk of arse. Crossing my fingers, we're back to FIFA action on the weekend. I mean, regardless, we're going to be back to FIFA action on Wednesday because it's one cup game, so they're going to happen then. But, mate, I missed doing Talk VFL today. Love kind of getting the boys on and evaluating their weekend, but FIFA in the summer, I want people to remember this, especially if they're in this, league race tonight. They play FIFA as well. FIFA in the summer, just avoid it. It's an optional season. Just trust me, avoid it. There is no point playing FIFA from May to July. It just, yeah. They've been decent lately. Just a ping issue. I hope you're right, because like I said, Friday, mate, trying to tell people how to do the fixes, how to get into games, nightmare. So I'm not doubting you, but maybe you just got lucky. But I'm praying that we're a little bit better. To be fair, the amount of games, I think we've got 60 games done on Friday, which is way more than what I anticipated. So, you know, fair play. Fair fucks. I'm away to Egypt for 3 weeks on Saturday. That's nice. That's not bad. Nice little holiday getaway. You're going to miss the... you're going to miss... Oh, mate, that means you're going to miss Brazil, then, no? That means you're going to miss Brazil. Just talked about how Brazil is your best track and you're not even going to be here for it, man. Gutting. Well, listen, 31 laps down, 5 to go. Let's give you a update on the penalties here. 3 for Henry, 3 for Chissy, 3 for Michael, 3 for Jamsey, 3 for Tiller, 6 for Kieran, 19. 12 for Shadow Gunners, 9 for Conzi, or for Cons, excuse me. 16 for Ethan Lasseter, and 15 for Bailey. So 16 seconds on penalties for Ethan Lasseter. Nightmare. You're not on a bicycle tonight, son. You're in a car. I'll probably take my PS with me. Play a hotel Wi-Fi. Or you go into like a family house. I would advise you on fucking hotel Wi-Fi. You are going to be looking like Aladdin on his carpet, mate. You're going to be flying around the track. I hope you're staying in a house and not a hotel. If you're going to one of those fancy hotels where they've got good internet, but Jesus. That'd be an experience. That'd be experience, people on the grid. Dear Lord. Jamsey here slipping down into 6th position. As he looks to try and get past Michael. Go back up into the tyres for you. See who's going to be pushing it to the end. Tiller, 17 lap old hards. Henry, 18 lap old hards. If we're talking about punctures in Mexico, 22 lap old hards. Imagine if Henry on the final lap gets a puncture. Dear Lord, you'd be furious to race for 40, 45, 50 minutes on the evening and then have that happen to you. You would not be pleased, would you? So now 4 laps left of Mexico this evening. A big thank you again to everyone giving up their Monday evening. 21 of you beautiful souls giving us an hour plus of your time. Michael, as per usual, as well. I'm sure Michael, though, will be more focused tonight on getting into the top 4, maybe top 5, rather than hearing the praise towards him. But for BobbyLyons, it's another standard night in the office, and it's good ground made on Chissy, who doesn't look like he's even going to get a podium here tonight, which is wild. Reversing, yeah, this track is heavy track, limits pens-wise, and it's a family house. Oh, there you go, then. It's not a fucking hotel, thank goodness. Haven't been to Egypt in 8 years, so it'll be a change. Here's one for you. Again, ignorant English thing here, but I've got many friends that have gone to Egypt on like holidays. I don't know if it's just because of the area they went to. I think they went to Cairo. I think Cairo's the place where I've always heard 2 of them at least say they've gone to. And they say Egypt, and again, this is like 10 years ago when we were in school still, because I'm old, remember. So more than 10, like 15 years ago, 15, 16 years ago when I was in school. And they said that Egypt's a very dirty place. Like, there's like fucking newspapers flying around. There's like rubbish like flying around. Not like dirty like it's like, you know, Calcutta, India dirty. I mean, that's dirty. But like, it wasn't the most pleasant place to go because, yeah, a little bit smelly, a little bit dirty. Maybe it's the area they went to where all like the tourism is. But yeah, I never heard good things about Egypt for a holiday destination. But I mean, if you're a history buff, just to go for the pyramids would be a good one. Apparently lots of scammers in Egypt as well. Apparently the taxis are a massive scam. They get you with tourist traps to try and sell you like little like Egyptian pyramid trinkets for like 15 quid. Yeah, 15 years ago I'd say yes because of the political reasons, but now it's better. That's good. That's good. For now though, 3 laps to go. And as of now, no real battles apart from Henry and Chissy here. Chissy is broken into... Wow, I did not think tonight I would be talking about Chissy in podium position. But that strategy, going on to the 8, onto the mediums, has worked the charm. Henry there as well, it's just taking a 3-second time penalty, man. As he goes on to 6 seconds, the 20 lap old hards, that could be the difference maker, I'm telling you. And maybe, just maybe tonight, the Red Bulls are going to be in a good position in terms of the finishing stage. But 2 laps to go, anything can happen, we'll see. Henry's fucked it for 20 lap on hards. Absolutely. Absolutely. Not everyone can do what Chissy does, man. I think that's, again, it's just a reminder to how good Chissy is when he can make 23, 24 lap on hards look so casual. You know what I mean? Brilliant driver. Excellent driver on his day. You've got to give credit as well to the likes of Bailey, Ethan Lesser, Cons as well, who have been in the wars today. We've seen 6 drivers retire. They're still out there, but doesn't look like points are going to come their way. For Pollen Breath as well, for BobbyLyons, CB, Pollen Breath, and Dylan Evans, no penalties today. That in its own right should get you a bonus point, at least in my opinion. No penalties in Mexico. Pretty damn impressive. Kieran's in the points tonight. Come on. Yeah. Do. Absolutely. I said, decent old driver is Kieran. Same with Pollen Breath. Absolutely. I think, again, Tiller will be a little bit disappointed. I think go back to the first kind of 15 laps, he was looking very, very sharp. Again, you know, 3rd, 4th place, climbing towards the summit of the table. But 9th position, if Pollen Breath leapfrogs him. 10th position. Will he be satisfied with that? Knowing Tiller from the FIFA side, I don't think he'll ever be satisfied, but they will have to accept it here this evening. Lap 35 of 36. As there's one last push from everybody here. A little bit of contact there from Jamsey on Henry. There's the aggression now coming out. 22 lap on ours. Oh, that's not good. And Henry has had a nightmare. And those 22 lap on hards, we said they could come back to bite him. I think they have. Still, he's got good enough spacing here that Hippo's not going to overtake him. But for Michael, how good is that? For the Red Bull, how good is that? 3rd and 4th position. And for Michael, another top 5 finish. Another top 5 finish. I called it, man. People think what Chissy does looks so simple. If he can do it, I can do it. Never. Guys, different gravy, man. Guys, different gravy. And for tonight, I guess we'll sit on BobbyLyons as he heads into lap 36. And he will cross the finish line. Surprise, surprise, winner again. And, most importantly, Chissy not in second. So the gap going to be cut. Yes, Chissy will still have a lead. Yes, he's still going to finish in the podium positions. But it won't be by 53 or whatever points it was before this evening. It is going to be cut down. How's Bobby a reserve, by the way? I mean, I think you may as well give him a full-time seat at this point. He's kind of here every week. You know what I mean? Maybe he just prefers that. Maybe he doesn't like to have the commitment to have to show up every week, but he will when he's here. You know, maybe one of those. Which I can respect. But for BobbyLyons here tonight, as he goes round the final beds, Kieran with a 3-second time penalty. That may push him out, man. Oh my god, it's 9 seconds now. That's going to be tight. But for BobbyLyons, here he is tonight. Spins over the line. He is oozing class and oozing excellence. Congratulations to him. CB46 is going to take second. And you have to, again, give a lot of praise to CB, to Pollen Breath, and to Dylan Evans tonight. No penalties. That, considering what we see here in front of us, very tricky to do. Even though an unserved penalty, and there you have it. Over the line we go. CB46 takes second place tonight. The ultimate prospect is back. And for Chissy, crashes into the wall but gets 3rd place. Jamsey in 4th. Michael in 5th. Another solid night for the McLaren. As Henry here is going to cross over the line in 6th position. You could say he maybe cost himself at the end of the race here tonight. 24 lap old hards, but what can you do? Kieran is going to finish in 8th as Hippo takes 7th. And Tiller, I think, is just about to leapfrog Kieran as well. Yes, he does. Finishes in 8th position. And Pollen Breath tonight also pips Kieran at 9th place for Stu. We love that from him. Shadow's Gunner getting 11th position. Kieran in 10th. Dylan Evans just also pipping Shadow's Gunner. So Dylan Evans and Shadow's Gunner just finish outside of the points tonight. Difficult one for Shadows, definitely. But for Kieran, for Pollen Breath, I think to get points tonight, definitely wonderful. CB46 saying, I can do 22 laps on hards. Winky face. Hey, not only that, you can do them on hards and you can do them with no penalties served or obtained. So maybe you could say even better than Chissy. Great race, though, boys. Honestly, top tier, top marks. And for BobbyLyons again, man. Guy is a joke. Guy is a joke. Back-to-back P9. Stu, buzzing for you, man. The golden oldie. The pollen breath. Showing everyone that this old timer still has the reflexes, still has the reactions. Tight one as well, man. Because, again, you and 3 others deserve so much praise. Said on comms there, mate, to not have a single penalty on a track like that when there's punctures in lap 6, when there's people taking, you know, track limit penalties and XYZ in the first 2-3 laps. You know, difficult to do that track clean. But you do it here tonight. Congratulations to you. In the point yet again. That's all you can ask. You know, get in there, get your team a couple of bonus points and head on to next week. Brazil next week, man. Van Reverse say that he's looking forward to Brazil. I never hear a bad word said, in all honesty, about Brazil. But who comes up trumps? Do we see Chissy go back to the top, or do we see BobbyLyons take another one in this very tight season? For tonight, though, fellas, there's no kind of end of race analysis. We didn't have Sergio today. Hopefully, if you've had us had me on in the background, it's not been too kind of blasé. I do my best when Sergio isn't here, but hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be back next week. Fellas, thank you so much again for your time. Thank you to Michael for setting this all up. And remember, talking to Michael, make sure if there was any incidents tonight, you submit that to his steward's channel, and he'll have a reply for you by 11 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, boys, take care, take it easy, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will see you when I see you. Good night. I'm out. We need to start a broadcast. No idea what that means, but yeah, good night. I'm off.